Good morning, you guys. Please be nice to the sub. Go ahead and put your name at the top of the notes. Now we're going to go ahead and fill in our table of contents. I've already done it for me, and it's on page 23. Go ahead and pause this whenever you need to if you need more time. And let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to graph these inequalities. So step one is knowing how to graph. We're going to look at the y equals mx plus b because this is what you're used to seeing. Now you should remember that m means slope and b means your y-intercept. So when we're looking at this equation, my y-intercept is -1, and the slope is 3 over 4. That means up 3, right 4. So from here I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then over 4. You're going to want some kind of straight edge ruler. I like to use my ID. It's small and it fits nicely. The next thing we need to look at, we've got our 2 points to create our line. We want to look if it's solid or not. See, if it's underlined like that, that's solid. That's what I've made some notes for you on the side. Now, I could also flip both of these and say down 3, left 4. So from here I could go down 3, 1, 2, 3, left 4. And since it's a solid line, don't forget the arrows on the end. Now x equals is different. X equals -4 is right here. And then it's just going to go straight up and down. Now this makes sense if you think about any point on this line. I'm going to grab a scratch paper. Right here, we're at the point -4, 8. Right here, we're at the point -4, 4, -4, 0. And you'll see that the x is staying the same and the y is changing. So we've got our lines drawn. They're both solid, which is nice. And now we've got to figure out where to shade. This is saying x is smaller than or less than or equal to -4. So that's going to shade where it's smaller than it. This is saying y is less than this line. So it's also going to shade below.
Did you see the...
Hold on a second, I'm recording. So now that we know where it's shaded, what we really want to shade is the part that both of them, it has to work for both of them. So this is like, we use this in real life where you're trying to find a situation like I need to make at least this much money and this is how much it costs me to produce something, and this is how you find your feasible region. This is where your solution is. So this part is your solution. Now I have it in the directions on your assignment today, but most of you won't read them, so I'm going to tell you out loud right now. I want to know 3 points that are in the solution. I'm going to pick at least one that's on the line if I can. So this is -4, -4. This is, I'm going to put an A by it. I'm going to pick one here, -6, -7. I'm going to call that B. And then I'm just going to pick one in the corner. -10, -10. Now you could pick different ones if you want. Just make sure you have one that's on the line and make sure you've got 3 that are inside. Now I want 3 that don't work. Okay? So it doesn't matter. Anywhere in this colored region, I'm going to go boom, boom, boom. D, E, F, D, E, F. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put this point on there, -9, +5. 1, 1, 7, negative 6. Once you have that down, go ahead and flip to the next page. If you need to pause, go ahead and pause. The main thing here is I'm looking that you can graph this. You're showing me, you need, make sure you have, here I'll make you a checklist. Solid versus dashed. We need arrows. We need shaded. We need 6 points. Some that are in the solution and some that are not. Then go ahead and open up and we're going to talk about all the other cases. Now this last problem, this is you're going to work with your table. So, we have one that's dashed and one that's solid. So let's start with the solid one. Negative 4. Okay. Then up 8 over 7. So negative 4 plus 8 is 4 over 7. Got my line. Go ahead and draw a solid line. I'm looking for precision here, so make sure you're doing it nice and neatly. This is at positive 2, and then 2 plus 8 is 10, and then over 7. You'll notice they have the same slope, which means they are parallel lines. Now when I'm drawing a dashed line, I just hold my ruler there, or my ID there, and then just skip a little bit. Now let's say you forgot, let's say you drew a solid line, but it was supposed to be dashed. Just do this next to it. I'll know what you mean. You don't have to spend all the time to try to fix it perfectly. Don't forget your arrows. And now comes the most important part, shading. We're gonna go ahead and this is above, Y, so it's gonna be above. And this one is also above. It's gonna be right here. So we need 3 in the solution, and I can't use the line because the dash means I can't touch it. It's like a force field. So you can pick any 3 you want in here. I'm just going to throw 1 in each quadrant. I'm going to say A, B, C. 2, 8. Negative 7, positive 6. Negative 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 4. And now I want to use the line if I can. So I'm going to use this point right here, over 0 up 2. That doesn't count. It's not part of the solution. I'm going to show that I understand that this part works for this line, but not for the whole set. So I'm going to just go ahead and pick anything. I'm going to pick 0, 0. And then I'm going to throw something over here. 7, negative 7. And that's pretty much it. Now this guy, both of these are dashed. I'm going to go ahead and label this A, B, C, D, E, F. Alright, so let's start with this guy. Negative 1 is my y-intercept. Up 5 over 6. I need a dashed line. Okay, and then negative 6, y equals negative 6. That's right here. And since there's no x, you can think of this as like plus 0x. It's just going to be a horizontal flat line. Don't forget your arrows. Okay, now we've got a shade. Y is bigger than this, so it's above here. And it's smaller than this, so it's below here, which means only this little triangle made it. So let's start with the easy ones, not a solution. I'm going to go ahead and pick this point right here, -6. -6, -6. I'm going to go ahead and pick this point right here, 6, 4. And I'm going to throw something from over here. -6 and +4. Wow, I didn't mean to pick all 6's in there, but that's what you get sometimes. Now we need ones that are a solution. This is going to be kind of tricky because there's not a lot in here. Oh, I should label these. -6, -6. That's going to be D. E is 6, 4. And that's F. I'm going to take this guy for A. -10, -7. I'm going to pick one next to him. -9, -7. And I'm going to do -10, -8. Wow. Now what I want you guys to do is go ahead, work this one out with your neighbors, talk it through, make sure you're ready, glue it in your journal, and then on page 24, make sure when you're graphing, you're probably going to need page 24 and 25 for the graphs because you're going to need a bunch of squares. Go ahead and make sure that you are labeling your 6 points. I would encourage you to use Desmos to help make sure you're graphing it correctly. Try to graph it by hand first and check with Desmos. Okay, you're not going to have Desmos on the test. You can't use that. So I just want to make sure you have an option. Be nice to the sub, guys.